Elon Musk, once the golden boy of the tech world, now finds himself pushed to the sidelines after explosive documents revealed his secret AI experiments gone wrong. The billionaire who conquered electric cars, space travel, and social media has reportedly been conducting unauthorized artificial intelligence tests that crossed ethical lines so severely that major tech companies have cut all ties with him. Industry insiders claim the leaked documents show Musk developed AI systems with capabilities far beyond what he publicly admitted, potentially putting millions at risk. What exactly did these secret experiments involve, and could this scandal permanently end his tech empire? Elon Musk's dominance in tech. Elon Musk has become one of the biggest names in technology over the past 20 years. Let's start with Tesla. This isn't just any car company. Tesla makes electric cars that changed how people think about driving. Before Tesla, most people thought electric cars were slow and couldn't go very far. Musk helped create vehicles that are both cool looking and better for the environment. Tesla cars can drive themselves in many situations, which seemed like science fiction not long ago. And then there's SpaceX. Imagine being able to build reusable rockets. That's what Musk did with SpaceX. The company makes rockets that can fly to space and then land back on Earth to be used again. This was a huge breakthrough because space travel used to be much more expensive when rockets could only be used once. SpaceX has sent astronauts to the International Space Station and plans to eventually take people to Mars. Neuralink might sound like something from a movie, but it's real. This company is working on technology that could connect human brains directly to computers. The goal is to help people with brain injuries or diseases, but the technology could eventually do much more. Imagine being able to control a computer just by thinking. More recently, Musk started XAI, a company focused on artificial intelligence. AI is basically teaching computers to think and learn on their own. Musk has said he wants to create good AI that helps humanity rather than harms it. Beyond these companies, Musk bought Twitter, now called X, and turned it into his vision of an everything app where people can communicate, share news, and maybe someday even handle money transfers and shopping. What makes Musk stand out is how he pushes boundaries. When most car companies were making small improvements to gas engines, he went all in on electric. When government space programs were moving slowly, he built a private rocket company. He doesn't just follow trends, he creates them. His way of working has influenced other tech leaders too. Musk is known for setting extremely ambitious goals and working incredibly long hours to reach them. He often sleeps at his factories during crunch times and expects his employees to be just as dedicated. Musk's companies have changed multiple industries. Electric vehicles are now being made by almost every car manufacturer. Space exploration has new energy and lower costs. Brain-computer interfaces and AI are receiving more attention and funding than ever before. Not everything Musk touches turns to gold though. His companies have faced production delays, quality issues, and financial struggles at various points. Some of his predictions about when new technologies will be ready have been overly optimistic. Despite these challenges, Musk's influence on technology is huge. He's shown that one person with big ideas and determination can still change entire industries. His companies employ thousands of people and are worth hundreds of billions of dollars combined. For better or worse, when Elon Musk speaks, the tech world listens. His tweets can move stock markets, and his announcements about new products get worldwide attention. Few people in history have had such control over so many important technologies at the same time. But with great power comes unchecked access. And now, that access is fueling one of the most alarming AI scandals the industry has ever seen. The unfolding AI scandal. Tech experts were horrified when they discovered that user data from all of Musk's companies was being combined without permission into one massive AI training database. People who owned Teslas, used Starlink internet, or posted on Twitter had their information mixed together to train AI systems that Musk planned to sell to the highest bidder. Government investigators found that XAI, Musk's artificial intelligence company, had been secretly accessing private government databases through backdoor connections. They used this information to gain advantages over competitors and to predict market changes before anyone else could. Former employees from multiple Musk companies formed a group called AI Ethics Now and shared thousands of internal documents with reporters. These papers showed that Musk had ignored warnings from his own staff about serious problems with their AI systems. One engineer had written, "The hallucination rate is too high to release this to the public," but Musk replied, "Ship it anyway. People will think the mistakes are funny." The final straw came when a joint investigation by major news organizations revealed that Musk had created a secret AI project called Olympus that was designed to manipulate stock prices, influence elections, and control social media conversations. The project used thousands of AI-powered fake accounts to create the impression that certain ideas were more popular than they really were. Tech industry leaders were quick to distance themselves from Musk. Apple removed Tesla integration from their products. Google banned his companies from using their cloud services. Microsoft ended all partnerships with his ventures. Even his longtime friend Peter Thiel publicly stated, "What Elon did crosses every ethical line in technology." The scandal forced the tech industry to create new rules about AI development. Companies now had to prove their AI systems were safe before releasing them, not after. They also had to be clear about how they used people's data and what their AI could and couldn't do. As investigations continued, Musk's empire began to crumble. His board members resigned, investors pulled their money out, and the government started looking into criminal charges. The man who once seemed unstoppable found himself increasingly alone, watching as the industry he helped shape turned its back on him. As Musk's empire fell apart in public view, few realized the true trigger was already in motion, an anonymous leak quietly circulating behind the scenes, carrying evidence that would ignite the storm. But who sent it and what exactly did it reveal? The leak in detail. The scandal didn't begin with a press release. It started with a single encrypted folder sent anonymously to a small group of investigative journalists working in tech accountability. Inside were internal emails, data sharing contracts, and logs that detailed how user information from Musk's companies was quietly funneled into a centralized AI training system. The journalists cross-checked the material with former employees, some of whom had left Tesla and Neuralink months earlier, over what they described as ethical concerns. One former engineer confirmed that data from Tesla driver behavior, Twitter user interactions, and even Starlink bandwidth usage was being pulled into a single server cluster labeled simply Omnidata. Initially, newsrooms hesitated to publish. The claims were explosive, and Musk had a long history of aggressively pushing back on unfavorable coverage. But once a second wave of documents surfaced, including internal Neuralink testing logs and Slack messages where employees raised red flags, the story broke wide open. The source of the leak remains unknown. Some believe it came from inside Twitter's trust and safety team. Others point to a whistleblower at Neuralink who had access to early versions of the AI integration protocols. What's clear is that the materials were authentic and damning. In the wake of the revelations, major media outlets began pooling resources. A coordinated investigative effort across multiple publications confirmed the use of private user data without consent, including metadata from Tesla drivers and Starlink location pings. Privacy advocates and cybersecurity analysts described it as one of the largest cross-platform data violations ever recorded. The documents also revealed something more troubling: internal discussions about how to obscure the integration from regulatory bodies. Meeting notes included phrases like minimize audit risk and plausible deniability strategy. One executive reportedly asked whether anonymization protocols could be selectively applied depending on jurisdiction. This wasn't just a breach of trust, it was a systematic effort to bend the rules before regulators could catch up. Impact on Musk's companies. The scandal hit Elon Musk's companies like a storm. Tesla, SpaceX, and xAI all felt the effects almost immediately. Tesla's stock took the hardest hit. The day after the news broke, Tesla shares dropped by 15%. This wasn't just a small dip, it meant billions of dollars in value disappeared overnight. Many investors who had trusted Musk's vision for years started selling their shares. One investor who had held Tesla stock since 2013 told reporters, "This changes everything about how I see the company's future." The car company faced other problems too. Some customers who had ordered new Teslas canceled their purchases. The company's reputation for being on the cutting edge of technology suddenly seemed less certain. Tesla's head of communications released a brief statement saying, "Tesla remains committed to its mission of accelerating the world's transition to sustainable energy. The company's operations continue as normal." SpaceX, Musk's rocket company, didn't escape the fallout either. While SpaceX isn't publicly traded like Tesla, it still relies on contracts contracts and partnerships. NASA officials announced they were reviewing all current agreements with the company. A planned rocket launch was delayed by 2 weeks, though SpaceX claimed this was due to routine technical checks rather than the scandal. Several major SpaceX investors expressed concern about Musk's judgment. One investment group that had recently put $200 million into SpaceX requested an emergency meeting with the company's board of directors. SpaceX's president tried to distance the company from the scandal, stating, "The day-to-day operations of SpaceX are managed by a talented team of engineers and professionals who remain focused on our mission." And perhaps hardest hit was XAI, Musk's artificial intelligence company. Since the scandal directly involved AI ethics violations, XAI faced intense scrutiny. 2 key AI researchers quit the company within days of the news breaking. In their resignation letter, which was leaked to the press, they wrote, "We cannot continue to work at a company where ethical boundaries are treated as obstacles rather than essential guardrails." XAI also lost a major partnership with a leading university research program. The university's dean explained, "Given recent events, we feel it's best to pause our collaboration until we can be assured that all research will be conducted according to established ethical standards." The financial impact spread beyond just stock prices. Advertisers began pulling back from X, formerly Twitter, another Musk-owned company. 3 major brands announced they were pausing their advertising campaigns on the platform until further notice. Inside these companies, employees reported a tense atmosphere. One Tesla engineer, speaking anonymously, described the mood as confused and worried. At SpaceX, a team meeting was called to reassure staff that their projects would continue despite the controversy surrounding their boss. Some industry analysts suggested the scandal might actually lead to positive changes in how Musk's companies are run. This could force more oversight and better governance structures, explained one business professor. "These are amazing companies with incredible talent. They might emerge stronger if this leads to more checks and balances on Musk's power." For now, the full impact remains unclear. The company's leadership teams are working to contain the damage, but much depends on how Musk himself responds to the crisis and whether more details about the scandal continue to emerge. What's certain is that the tech visionary's empire is facing its biggest challenge yet. Industry and public reactions. As news of Elon Musk's AI scandal spread across the tech world, reactions came in fast from every corner of the industry. Tech leaders who had once stood shoulder to shoulder with Musk at conferences now scrambled to distance themselves. Mark Zuckerberg, CEO of Meta, released a statement saying, "While innovation is important, ethics must come first in AI development. What happened shows why we need clear rules that everyone follows." This was not surprising to many since Zuckerberg and Musk had often disagreed publicly about AI in the past. Sundar Pichai from Google emphasized his company's commitment to responsible AI. "We've always believed that artificial intelligence should be developed with careful oversight and transparency," he said during a press conference. This situation highlights exactly why Google has strict ethical guidelines. Tim Cook of Apple kept his response brief but pointed, simply stating that trust is earned through actions, not promises. Many took this as a direct criticism of Musk's previous claims about prioritizing AI safety. Smaller tech companies and startups in the AI field worried about how this scandal might affect them. "We're concerned that one person's actions could lead to harsh regulations that make innovation harder for everyone," said Emma Chen, founder of an AI ethics startup in San Francisco. Industry experts were equally vocal. Dr. Timnit Gebru, a well-known AI ethics researcher, pointed out that she and others had been warning about these exact problems for years. "This isn't surprising to those of us who've been raising red flags about unchecked AI development," she said. "The warning signs were there all along." On social media, the public reaction was mixed. Hashtags like #OurMuskAIScandal and #OurTechAccountability trended for days. Many expressed disappointment, with one viral tweet reading, "I believed Musk wanted AI that helped humanity. Turns out he just wanted AI that helped himself." Others defended Musk, claiming the scandal was being blown out of proportion by his competitors, or was a misunderstanding of his research goals. Fan groups organized online to support him, arguing that pushing boundaries sometimes means making mistakes. Tech industry workers also spoke up. An anonymous group of AI researchers published an open letter signed by over 800 professionals calling for stronger industry-wide ethical standards and independent oversight of major AI projects. Universities and research institutions joined the conversation too. MIT's AI Ethics Center released a statement saying this incident demonstrates why AI development cannot happen behind closed doors, and called for more academic industry partnerships with ethical guardrails. International reactions varied by country. European officials pointed to their existing AI regulations as proof that stronger oversight was needed globally. This is exactly why the EU has taken a proactive approach to AI governance, said one European Commission representative. Meanwhile, investment in Musk's companies took a hit as some venture capital firms publicly announced they would pause funding for any projects associated with him. We need to reassess our investment criteria to include stronger ethical considerations, explained a partner at a major Silicon Valley VC firm. Tech conferences that had once featured Musk as a headlining speaker began removing him from upcoming events. The prestigious AI Summit in London announced they were replacing Musk with a panel discussion on ethics in artificial intelligence. Perhaps most telling was the reaction from everyday tech users. A survey conducted a week after the scandal broke showed that 62% of respondents said they now had significant concerns about AI development, up from 37% before the news broke. As the dust began to settle, one thing became clear: the tech industry was at a crossroads. Musk's scandal had forced a larger conversation about who should control powerful AI systems and what safeguards needed to be in place before these technologies shape our future.